You can't have everybody on the same radio channel, I am told, because that would be chaotic. But what you could do was have a local guy embedded with the Secret Service. So when they get the...
So you can't have a lot of people on the same channels. That'd be chaotic. Why can't you do a push to talk? I mean, push to talk. You push a button, then you talk. You take your finger off the button, and nobody can hear you talk. This is
the call.
goofy.
We're seeing something suspicious. You could then...
Hey, what's going on, my American-loving friends? Ryan here. Welcome to the channel. If you would, give us a like, subscribe, hit the notification bell. What we have here today for you guys is a radio logs reveals sniper's warning about Trump shooter. This is a Fox alert. It's sort of, to me, this came out about an hour ago. But to me, I've already seen it. I've seen the Secret Service hearing and the things that they said about the radios. And they're going to sort of just go over all that. But if you're interested in it, give it a like. Let's get it.
We are learning chilling new details about communication failures surrounding the assassination attempt against former President Donald Trump. Encrypted radio communications reportedly revealing a local counter sniper actually warned they'd, quote, lost the gunman after they had sighted him with that rangefinder. Matt Finn is live at the Butler, Pennsylvania rally site with the latest on the investigation.
Yes, we lost the gunman. We've lost the gunman. Go look for him. Go look for him.
Matt?
Emily, the acting director of the Secret Service now confirms that former President Trump's counter sniper team did not have direct radio communication with local police here in Butler on the day of the shooting. And a new Washington Post report reveals just how poor communication was between federal and local agencies. According to encrypted radio transcripts, on July 13th at 5:42 p.m., a local counter sniper here in PA said, just an FYI, we had a younger white male, long hair, lurking around the AGR building. He was viewed with a rangefinder sighting the stage. We lost sight of him. That message was apparently referencing the shooter Thomas Crooks, who ultimately pulled off the near assassination of former President Trump while killing one man and injuring others. Now, there has been outcry over why no Secret Service workers have been publicly fired or suspended just yet. Here on the ground,
The reason nobody's been fired because it's a group thing. If you've seen the Secret Service hearing, excuse me, it's a lot of heads. It's not just one head. There's a lot of people brainstorming certain things. If they was to fire one of them, they'd have to fire the group of them.
I spoke with Republican Congressman Mike Kelly. This is his district in Western Pennsylvania, and he's on the special task force that is investigating the July 13th shooting.
American people have the right to know, and we have a tremendous responsibility to find out for them. I don't want to talk about innuendo where somebody said something to me or I got a secret note from somebody. We're going to do the deep dive that's necessary with the people that were actually on the ground, what they went through, and then how did you prepare for this?
And Congressman Kelly is urging everyone to take a breath because he promises that task force will come to this site, and he promises the country that everyone who needs to be held accountable will be. Emily.
Matt, thank you. Kayleigh, we've been talking about this the whole time. The colossal communication failures keep piling up, and all it does is underscore the colossal leadership failure of the Secret Service.
No doubt. Emily, that Washington Post report was stunning. We had been saying we need the transcripts of the radio communications. Well, the Washington Post got them. So at 5:42 p.m., local law enforcement communicated there was a guy with a rangefinder. Fine, you use a rangefinder in golf. Fine, you use it in shooting. You don't use it at a Trump rally. The shooting took place at 6:11 p.m. So 30 minutes passed where there's this information about the rangefinder. Then we find out in this Washington Post report, the information was communicated into a command post that only contained local law enforcement. So what happened to what I've been told by Trump officials was the model for every single presidential event? You have a security center with the head of every law enforcement group in the same room. Did that not happen here? And then
It did happen, but the Secret Service didn't ever go to the meeting. The law enforcement went to the meeting, but the Secret Service never did go to the meeting. So, and everybody did have radios, but every one of their radios were on a different channel. Like the police had their radios on a channel, the Secret Service had their radios on a channel. Everybody had their radios on a different channel.
finally, we're told man with a gun, 30 seconds goes by, the message not communicated. Why? Because they didn't have enough time to call in on a cell phone. Why aren't you using radios? So many questions.
They did have
Failure,
radios.
To your point, failure all the way around.
They're just
And you know, Harris,
different.
you didn't lose sight of him were all of those
Different
rally
channels.
goers who had their cell phones trained on him and trying to get the attention of those in charge.
Crazy.
Yeah, we're supposed to see something, say something, but apparently when we say something, we don't get listened to. Yeah, that's not a good message. There's really only one question I have today for the leadership at the USSS. How many of the people that you're looking at who fell down on that day and where the failures actually happened are still on the job today, and what are they doing? Who
All
are they
of them.
protecting? I want to know where we have moved to with the people.
They're protecting themselves because it's not just one. It's a whole lot of them.
Who are being most scrutinized. And do we have enough redundancy in our ranks to replace them while you finish your investigation? No, we don't, because you know what Kimberly Cheadle told us? They're 1,500 employees short under her watch. She knew she had positions to fill, so they were stretched. They were stretched. So even if they wanted to take some of these people out of the field, we don't have potentially the redundancy that we would need to keep people safe. And this isn't just about our candidates as president. These are about any of our elected leaders. We know that the enemy wants to cause chaos, and so they are targeting us. And we have enough enemies around the globe now. We don't need a piece of paper that says, well, today is Trump and Iran's day. It's everybody all day long.
That's right.
So get ready.
That's right. And Guy, focusing on this particular point, which I feel is so disturbing, and it's the erosion of the relationship between the Secret Service via leadership and local law enforcement, because President Biden doesn't leave the White House without the support and the dependence on local law enforcement who bravely and steadfastly support the Secret Service all throughout the country, every day, all day, with all the protectees. And here we have leadership that's just been throwing them under the bus and trying to blame them for their failures.
Yeah, I think the locals felt scapegoated unfairly in the very early days when the now erstwhile leader was trying to sort of cast blame everywhere but on herself and her own agency. And it's sort of amazing because every time some new
Give this video a like if you're glad that Kimberly Cheadle is gone.
development comes out involving this incident and the near murder of Donald Trump on national television, I keep waiting to have a sense of, oh, okay, now I sort of understand why that happened. And yet each new piece of information makes it more unbelievable, less understandable. It's shocking how many different levels of failure there were here. It's like he hid the gun in advance. He did the flyover with a drone in advance. They spotted him, an hour in advance. They lost sight of him and radioed in. And somehow Donald Trump...
An hour and a half in advance. They spotted him 90 minutes in advance with the rangefinder. And it beats me why they didn't, reschedule this or cancel it until later on when they had Thomas in cuffs asking him questions. It's mind-boggling.
Trump was allowed on the stage at every step that should have
Exactly.
been stopped.
Yep.
And it wasn't.
Near murder of Donald Trump and the actual murder of Corey Compratori, Carly. And the other thing is, to everyone's points here,
It's crazy.
we need these answers right now. Because right now, there are many protectees under the protection of the Secret Service who thus far we've seen no leadership whatsoever made any change other than Cheadle.
It's so true. I feel like we have learned so much and nothing at all when it comes to what happened on July 13th. And when it comes to the communication issues between
You are
local
correct.
police and Secret Service, You can't have everybody on the same radio channel, I am told, because that would be chaotic. But what you could do was have a local guy embedded with the Secret Service. So when they get the...
So you can't have a lot of people on the same channels. That'd be chaotic. So you can have a World of Warcraft raid on Discord with hundreds of people if you got a big guild raiding, and it's not chaotic. And those usually, which I don't play World of Warcraft. I just remember seeing Leroy Jenkins. Why can't you do a push to talk? I mean, push to talk. You push a button, then you talk. You take your finger off the button, and nobody can hear you talk. This is
the call.
goofy.
We're seeing something suspicious. You could then communicate that much more effectively, person to person, with the Secret Service agent, who could then go check it out or alert the the immediate detail around former President Trump or anybody that the Secret Service is protecting. So that's one thing. The other thing is we don't know anything about the shooter or a motive yet. And one of the reasons for that is because the social media is still encrypted. So I completely agree with...
Go check out BlackRock. Go check out the video. I got a video on the channel. The owners of the building that Crooks was on. Go check that video out. If you want me to, I'll put the links in the description. But go check that video out. Very, very interesting stuff. And I still haven't made a video about the BlackRock company. I think that's what it's called, the BlackRock company. I still haven't made a video about it, I don't think. So I'm gonna have to up my game a little bit, so to speak. But go check that video out of who owns that building that Crooks was on, because it's an eye opener.
Senator Lindsey Graham, who brought this up in the hearing last week when he said there is an answer that's sitting somewhere out there, and because these apps are still encrypted, for a murderer, an assassin, he says, like, privacy to a point, but I mean, that is ridiculous.
And our enemies are watching all of this.
Yes, they are.
They're like the Borg, they're learning.
Speaker McCarthy told us on Friday that when he and his excellent team land somewhere, his Secret Service hands a radio to the local law enforcement, so it ensures seamless communication. That's leadership. Hey everyone, I'm Emily Campagno. Catch me and my
What do you guys think about that? So very interesting stuff. The Thomas Crooks thing, I've been going over it because I'm interested in it, But a lot of stuff that they're saying's, excuse me, actually already been said. If you go look at the Secret Service hearing, you'll see basically the same stuff. But I'll catch you guys on the next video. Y'all take care. Peace.